Hey there, Father Richard Conlon here. In a recent interview with Dr. Ralph Martin, he spoke about the importance of fasting to bring about the conversion of those for whom we're praying for. I hope you enjoy this clip and stay tuned at the end as I unpack Dr. Ralph Martin's insights.
And then I say, prayer and fasting is important. A lot of parents have never thought about fasting. And, Mary at Fatima, she said, so many souls are going to hell because so few people are praying and offering sacrifices for them. Jesus said, some of these demons can't be cast out except by prayer and fasting. So I really encourage parents to put some skin in the game. If you really are concerned about your children's salvation, do something about it. Sacrifice something as a way of intensifying your prayer, as a way of underlining your request to God for your children's salvation, type of thing. So.
Can you speak more into that, Dr. Martin, about fasting? What does that look like for parents to fast for their children? Can you give some
Yeah.
examples in your own life?
Yeah. Well, I'm a bad faster, but early on, when I was a senior at university, uh, I had a real conversion experience through making a Cursillo, weekend retreat, and every single one of my siblings. I have four sisters, and then later on, a brother came later in life, and none of them were really practicing their faith. So I was really concerned about them. So I just felt like I should offer a little sacrifice along with my prayer for them. Now, in those days, this seemed like a meaningful sacrifice. These days, it doesn't seem so much, but I gave up one lunch a week, which, looking back on it, I say, wow, that was pretty pathetic. But in the course of a year or two, all four of my sisters came to the Lord and were converted. So I felt like the Lord was honoring my humble, weak sacrifice. And then periodically over the years, I've done that, in greater degree at different times. But I never became stable in it until I really heard what Mary is reported as having said at Medjugorje. Now I know that Medjugorje hasn't been officially approved; the apparitions are still going on, but the Pope has appointed the former Archbishop of Warsaw to guide the pastoral activity in Medjugorje. The restrictions on formal diocesan and pilgrimages have been taken off. So the church is certainly recognizing that something fantastic is happening there. People are being converted, but they're reserving judgment on the apparitions because they're still going on. And there's 10 secrets which either are going to happen or aren't going to happen, so a judgment can't be made until it's really complete. But tremendous things are happening there. Millions and millions of people have been converted there. And when I was living in Italy for a while, I went over to Medjugorje and I heard about the 5 things that Mary asked: prayer, reading the Bible, Eucharist, confession, and fasting on bread and water 2 days a week. Now, and then I met a nun there named Sister Emmanuel. I don't know if you know her at all. She's really a holy nun. She lives there. She's a tremendous interpreter of what's happening there and communicator of it. And she came to visit us a number of years ago, and we were talking, and she said, people really respond to 4 of those 5 requests that Mary makes. They're okay with the prayer, they're okay with Eucharist, confession, and reading the Bible, but not too many people are fasting 2 days a week. And I really felt very convicted. And so I started fasting 2 days a week. I don't know, maybe this was, 10 years ago, I don't know. And I found out though that at that time, bread and water wasn't like working well for me because I'd be eating bread all day long. I think I ate more bread on my fast day than I would on a normal day. I was just thinking about eating all day long, and the bread was there and I kept eating. So I switched to a fast that seemed to work better for me. I hope it's okay. So everybody has to kind of find their own particular way of doing it. So what I do now is that after the evening meal, I don't eat anything until the next evening meal. I just have water, and that seems to be a meaningful enough sacrifice for me, but it doesn't destroy my ability to work. And I'm not thinking about food all day long for some reason, that somehow being able to eat bread was making me think of food all day long. But I would say to families, to mothers and fathers, just kind of see what would be a meaningful thing for you that would be realistic, that you could do without knocking you out of commission, without, you're not in a monastery, but, you can give up desserts, you can give up watching television, you can give up social media, you can eat something you don't like, you can give up complaining, you can volunteer to wash the dishes, more than your turn. There's just a lot of meaningful small sacrifices you can do. And at Fatima, Mary seemed to be very pleased with the small sacrifices that the children were making. They would give up sometimes their lunch. They would sometimes not drink water on a hot day. They would, just do all kinds of little sacrifices. So I think it's pretty clear that heaven likes us to deny ourselves. And it's a very meaningful thing that really can affect the power of our prayer and our intercession. It isn't like God owes us to answer our prayer if we fast, but somehow there's some mysterious connection between prayer and fasting and the fruitfulness of our intercession.
Thanks, Dr. Martin.
3 key insights that I took from Dr. Ralph Martin's reflection is, first, try it out. You'll never know if it's actually going to work to bring about the conversion of those for whom you're praying for unless you try it out. So have the courage just to try it out. And second, schedule it in. Dr. Ralph Martin puts it into his weekly schedule, 2 days a week. And so it's a non-negotiable. He doesn't have to waste any more mental energy on what he's going to do on those days because it's just part of the weekly schedule. And third is to trust in God. Trust that God will honor the sacrifice you make on those days to bring about the conversion of your loved ones. So try it out, schedule it in, and trust in God.